Yeah, we'll be looking at 14 ways to raise an intelligent child. 14 different ways of raising intelligent children. But we want to take it in parts. We want to take it in two parts. 14 ways to raising an intelligent child. We first need to know that it's possible to impact in our children. It's possible to raise an intelligent child. So, raising an intelligent child offers both unique challenges and opportunities. It is a call to work actually. At first, it will seem like you have to spend a lot of time and put a lot of effort, to promote intellectual growth and curiosity of your children, of your child. It's actually true. But at the same time, you'll be rewarded with a closer relationship and better understanding of your child. You'll also be able to nurture your child's gift and intelligence and expand their horizon over time. So it is not a task that is not achievable, it is a task that is actually achievable. So, first, you as the parent needs to have a mindset that what I'm about to do is possible and is achievable. So, I'm just going to run through them 14 ways to raising an intelligent child. The first is that read with your child. I mean, read alongside your child. Reading helps develop, important communication skills, vocabulary, and grammar. Also, reading helps children to learn a lot about their community, about the world, about people, about different culture, and it expands their horizon and make them and bring them to contact with people and information that they might never experience otherwise. So reading is one of the most important ways to raise and nurture an intelligent child. So that is the first foundation. That's the first block to lay. Read along your child. Read with your child. Maybe you can make a periodic program. Doesn't matter how busy you are. Can schedule time. Maybe every Saturday, 4 p.m. Sit with her, sit with him, read along with them. Their novels, their journals. You guys can read together and all of that. So reading, enhances uh, the intelligence of a child. So try reading with your child every day or at least once. It's best to start doing it when your child is small. Okay, let the baby get used to it from infancy, not already 11 years old and you want to inculcate that it's going to be a little bit difficult. So start early at age 2, at age 3, sit together, playing with colors, and all of that. Okay, make reading fun with your child. Use different voices and sound to keep their attention and encourage your child to read on their own also. Sometimes you say, "Oh, I have a gift for you." By the time you read 3 pages, I give you two chocolate and all of that. So encourage your child to discuss what they have read with you. So encourage and let them let's talk about what you have read and all of that. Schedule time for regular trips to the library with the child. Let the child grow up to know, oh, there's a place they call the library where I can access books for free, even if I'm going to pay a token. It's understandable, but let the child grow up with that culture, that help to enhance the understanding of this child. So that is my first point. I said read with your child, read alongside the child. So I'm gonna break this clip into two. This is just part one. We're gonna run seven, then uh, maybe tomorrow we run the seven. So first on my list, we're talking about 14 ways to raising an intelligent child. I said first, read with your child. Of course, the background states that you have to appreciate the fact that what you're about to do is an achievable task to start with. So the first is to read along with your child, you know, then second, regulate your child's television watching. Regulate your child's television watching. A lot of parents will not like this. A lot of guidance will not like this because we use the TV in such a way to occupy the child. Perhaps if a single mom or maybe the dad is away from home, she wants to occupy the children. She put cartoon, and the children just get busy watching for hours, for hours. That is actually good because she have time to do other things. However, it's still bad. Okay, so you have to find a way to balance it. So you have to regulate your child's television watching. While television is not necessarily a bad thing for children to spend time watching, it presents several problems for parents who want to take proactive stance raising their children. So if you want to raise an intelligent child, then you have to stand your ground. There must be time that these children can watch, and of course, the time will be limited. I'm going to tell you that in the course of this clip. So perhaps I said, most importantly, television occupies time that could be used on more stimulating activities. In addition, some studies have indicated that watching television can stunt the intellect or limit a child's intellectual growth. This point is very important. Some studies have indicated that watching television can stunt the intellectual or limit the child intellectual growth. So please let it not be too much. My daughter, not even up to a year, they put cartoon for and all of that. But when I realized it's wrong, I need to caution the mom and we need to adjust that. No, now look at the US Department of Health recommends, it's a recommendation actually, it's not mandatory. The US Department of Health recommends that children under the age of 2 do not watch television at all or spend time in front of other screens such as computers, tablet, and so on and so forth. So children between the ages of 2 and 5 should not have more than 1 hour of screen time each day, and kids between the ages of 5 and 18 should have no more than 2 hours of screen each day. I'm talking about, you're not breeding any kind of child to the community. I'm talking about intelligent children. If you want to raise an intelligent child, then you have to stand your ground. A computer, laptops, palm tops, tablet, television, children has to avoid it. You can see the regulation. I read that again. I said children between the ages of under the ages of 2 do not watch TV or spend time in front of any screen such as computer, tablet, and so on. While children between the ages of 2 and 5 should not have more than 1 hour of screen time a day. And that 1 hour should be choice program, a choice, something that's going to benefit them. Okay. So within the ages of 2 and 5, you should not have more than 1 hour. Then ages, then children between the ages of 5 and 18 should not have more than 2 hours of screen a day. I bet you, if you can inculcate this discipline in your children, then you're going to raise intellectuals. You're going to raise great brains. You're going to raise another Michael Faraday and the likes of the brains you can think of, the great scientists and all of that. So take this point really, really, really serious. So make sure that your child watches shows appropriate for them, not anything, but shows appropriate, the ones you have recommended yourself. Have your child watch shows that stimulate his or her brain, such as Discovery Kids, so many amazing channels, believe you me. But I know Discovery Kids is really nice. That's the way that's the one I normally play for my baby. So have your kids watch shows, let them watch, shows that stimulate his or her brain and all of that. So treat television as a threat, not a right. So it's not a right for the child to watch TV, but it's a threat to the child's intellectual growth. So look at TV from that point of view. Some of us have it in all the rooms. Every room has TV, and think, oh, because I have money, you can. Fine, you can put television in everywhere you want to, but make sure it's regulated. If this is the kind of child you want to raise, I'm not talking to everybody actually, I'm talking to some few. If you know that you want to raise an intelligent child, then follow me till the end of this clip, please. So, I said, make your child's television experience more active rather than passive. Have your child sing along with the characters or talk to your child about what they see or hear. Uh, my third point, purchase your child's toy that stimulate the brain. Purchase toys that stimulates the brain. As educators and developmental theorists have known for long, toys are important part of a child's intellectual growth and development. So you can get some good toys that will help develop the child's brain. As a result, you should put out into the toys you purchase for your child and make sure that your child's toy are developmentally advantageous. Or, of course, all children are different. Different children uses toys differently. So to use your best, so use your best judgment to get the best kind of toys for the children. There are toys and games that promote problem solving, like puzzles are also good choices. Toys and games that allow your child to express creativity, like Legos, Lincoln Logs. There are so many of them that you can get. Toys that allow your child to physically move and touch things are often better choices than video games. So video game time should be limited as well. And you should vet every video game to make sure it has educational and intellectual value before allowing your child to play with. There are cartoons of pawns these days. So you watch carefully and make sure you check it out before you allow your children have access to those materials. Number fourth point, nurture your child's interest. Okay, from infancy, tell whosoever that's going to be watching over the child, the mother or whosoever, to watch carefully what is the interest of this child. So nurture your child's interest. An important element of raising an intelligent child is nurturing your child's interest. Different children will demonstrate different productivities and different interests. So you should nurture this and promote uniqueness. You can do this by positive reinforcing your child's interests. If your child demonstrates an interest in history, perhaps maybe take them to a historical site. If your child demonstrates interest in science, take them to science museum. You look at the area where they have interest and nurture that area. I have a friend who her child likes to play drum. Baby just sit and just playing with his anything he gets just like a drumstick. So I was like, channel this child, you know, his interest towards playing band and all of that. Put him in a music school and all that. That will help the child in the long run. So buy them books that are interesting. Buy them books that they are interested in. Don't just buy any type of novels or book. No. If his interest is in history, get them materials history. If his interest in science, get them materials and sciences from that infancy. So enroll them in programs that will cater to their interests. Enroll them in programs that cater to their interests. If your child loves environmental science, find maybe an environmental program for kids at your local place and enroll them. So if your child isn't enthusiastic about school, then help them pursue the things they're interested in outside school. Some love artwork, some love drawing, some love, footballing and all of that. Some music. Just channel them their interest to that area. Number five, expose your child to new things to challenge their interest. So expose your child to what? New things to challenge their interest. If you only cater to your child's interests, they might miss out on things they might not be exposed to. So in order to prevent this, you should go out of your way to introduce your child to different ideas, culture, and ways of life. Consider introducing your child to traditional uh, feminine and masculine topics such as cooking, childcare, nurturing, as well as science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Tell your children that they can choose to be a cook or an engineer or a caregiver, and that they can pursue this career, hobbies, and interests at long run. So introduce your child to different ways of viewing the world in terms of gender relations, culture, and intellectualism. Your child does not have to feed into any sort of traditional mold or can adopt different ideas in order to fashion their ways uniquely, unique identity. So introduce your child to different perspective of different cultures so they can see life from different point of view. The sixth point, play with your child often. So create time outdoor play, outdoor games. You guys should play together. Interact with the child as you play. You can choose to sit down and play with him or her, or you can talk to your child as you guys play or as they play with other children. Just watch them very carefully. This way you will learn more about your child and about their specific type of intelligence. You might also be able to steer them towards playing styles and activities that are more enriching. But remember, always let your child express their own creativity. Do not inhabit your child's creativity. Do not take over their playtime. Okay, there is no right way to play. So allow them to play any type of play they want to play. Let them express what is inside of them so you can see and know where their strength is and know where to channel your effort into. When you do that, believe me, you're going to raise a very, very, very smart and intelligent children. And the last point where I'm going to stop in this part one is talk to your child often. So talk to your child regularly about their interests. This way, you will learn about your child and you will be able to determine how your child is progressing intellectually over time. You can choose to talk about anything with your child, but it's better to let your child choose the conversation. So when your child asks you something, turn it into a conversation rather than just quickly answering them. A lot of parents do that. Oh, daddy, you just giving the answer straightforward. No, turn it into a conversation. Talk about how this thing turned out to be this way, like that, like that. Let me give you a practical story. Just an analogy. For instance, let's assume your child asks you, "Oh, daddy, oh, we have lights now. After a while, we don't have light. Why?" Maybe they just suddenly light just come up, and maybe if you live in the Sahara, for instance, where light is not really constant. I'm talking about the electrical light, for instance. And the child asks, "Oh, dad, mom, what happened that, oh, light?" And he's asking you that, what happened, we don't have light before, we just got light now. And instead of you to say, oh, they just brought the light, or they just turn on the gen and all of that, turn it into a conversation. you know Talk to the child, let the child know, oh, there's something we call electricity, there's something we call power, there are different sources of power, this is where this is from, and all of that. So turn it into a conversation. As such, the child with keen interest and begin to learn other things. So talk to your child often, talk to your child regularly about their interests, the way you will learn about your child, and you will be able to determine how your child is progressing intellectually over time. So you can choose to talk about anything with your child, but it's better to let your child choose the conversation and not you bringing the conversation. So when your child asks you something, turn it into a conversation rather than just quickly answering them. So ask your child questions and see how they will respond. Remember, though there is no right to answer, your goal should just be to engage your child. So engage him or her regularly. So one of the most important parts of talking is listening. Remember, one of the most important part of talking is what? Listening. So when you ask, allow the child to talk. Don't interrupt them when you want to talk. Make sure you listen carefully to what your child is saying rather than lecturing them. So I run through this 7 bullet point again. Then I said that we're going to continue the part two tomorrow. So one more time, we're discussing 14 ways to raising an intelligent child. I said it is a task that is achievable. You build on that. What you're about to push for is achievable, is attainable, and is realistic. Yeah, parents that have raised smart and intelligent children out there, children went up to make them proud. So first, I said read along with your child. Would you read with your child every now and then? And the reading helps develop their communication skill, their vocabulary, and their grammar. In addition, reading helps children to learn more about the world or that culture and so on and so forth. So read alongside your child. Create time for that, please, no matter what it takes. Now, regulate your child's television watching. That's my second point. Don't just allow them to watch TV from morning till night. Children will not get tired. Believe you me, they can watch from morning till night. Those that are addicted to football can watch all of the games on the Saturday, all the Premier League games, all of the La Liga, all of the games you can think of. They can watch all. So you have to regulate your child's television watching. Also, I went further to say this very important point that the research and the recommendation by the US Department of Health states that children under the age of 2 do not watch TV. They shouldn't be allowed to sit under any screen. Then children between the ages of 2 and 5 should not have more than 1 hour of screen time a day. And kids between the ages of 5 and 18 should have not more than 2 hours of screen a day. I said, remember, the kind of child you want to breed is not anyhow children, okay? Anyhow of a child. You want to bring an intellectual up, then you have to make sure that the child is disciplined what they watch. Third, I said purchase your child's toy that stimulates the brain. Don't just buy toys that can stimulate the brain of the child. There are games, there are puzzles, toys with games that promote problem solving, like talking about the puzzles, they are good choices. We have toys and games that allow you to express their creativity, like these Legos and Lincoln logs and all of that. The child can mold whatever he wants on his own. So toys that allow your child to physically move and touch things are often better choices than video games. Video games is also good, but it's somehow limited, and you should also vet the games before you allow the child have access to them. So number four, I said nurture your child's interest. Wherever you see the interest, nurture it. I gave a story about a colleague of mine who her child loved to play drum. The baby will just sit anything he sees, he just wants to use it and play. And not as if he sees it anywhere, he just grew up with this instinct, to play with things. So the mom needs to nurture that interest. Take him to a music school, let him concentrate on drumming, let him be a master, a professional in drumming and all of that. Some love to play bass guitar, flute, and all of that. So just nurture the child's interest. The fifth one, I said, expose your child to new things and challenge their interests. Okay, he's used to this. Take him to another environment entirely. Let him see a different culture. Let him see a different life. So expose your children or your child to new things to challenge their interests. Okay, I remember when I was small then, my mom, you know, so keen about the things I do. She knows the things I know. So one day, some of our neighbors were peeling nuts and all of that. So she called me and said, Kefas, go check what are you doing. I went, I said, oh, they are breaking. They said, no, no, it's not break. There is an appropriate word, and I was like, what is it? She said, go and do research. And so I went to find out peel is actually the appropriate word for nut. They are peeling the nut, but I thought they are breaking the nut and all of that. So you have to expose your children to new things. You know what they know. So when you see what they don't know, try to expose them to those things. And the last one, I said, play along with your kids. So play with your kid, interact with your children as they play. You can choose to sit down and play with them or talk with them and all of that. So play with them. And the seventh one, talk with your child, talk with your child, talk to your child, talk to your child, talk to your child regularly about their interests, the way you will learn about your child, and you'll be able to determine how your child is progressing intellectually over time. So when you talk with them, you can feel new vocabularies in his language. Okay, good one. His accent is improving and all of that. So you need to talk to the child. So we're going to stop here because of our time. So thank you. Tomorrow we'll continue on the 14 ways to raising intelligent child. 14 ways to raise an intelligent child. We're going to continue tomorrow at 7 point as well. Thank you for your time. See you shortly.